We just got here to the hot springs here in Arkansas. And much to my surprise, we are not able to get in. What is up with that, people? Let me get in your hot springs. I don't know what else to say other than we're on this scenic drive right now. Amazing. It'd be better with a Porsche, but you know, we got a van. Here we are, driving away. Driving, oh, squeak, you hear that? That's my seatbelt, squeaking away.
We're here at the observation tower. We are going to go up as far as they let us. I'm not sure how far you're allowed to go up, but there are stairs.
All right, we just got to the Hot Springs National Park and it is hot.
No, it's actually really nice outside today. The sun is shining, there are basically no clouds in the sky, and it's just really nice.
Yeah, just got it.
Which has offered hot baths and spa services since 1912.
We were going up really high. I'm not usually like super afraid of heights, but I was just like watching this big open window and I'm like,
This is pretty cool up here. We are just so high up. 183 feet to be exact, plus whatever the top of this mountain is that we drove up to.
It is beautiful. It's so calm. We are the only ones up here and you just like, you can't even hear anything. Maybe like a tiny bit of highway noise, but mostly nothing. It is so cool. You can see forever. I don't know, miles and miles and miles. You can see pretty much the whole park, at least the whole park that's like accessible.
Yeah, it was 13 bucks to get up here and I would say 100% it was worth it.
If you can see right there by my finger, there's our little van right there.
As far as things to do in the hot springs, there is basically the mountain drive, which we did to come up to here. There's this mountain tower, and then you can also go on a couple different hikes around the hot springs to see some of the hot springs, but you cannot actually get in them. If you want to get in the hot springs, you have to go into these buildings where they charge you to take a bath in the hot spring water, but you're in a building, which is basically like a pool.
And they charge you like $38 a person just to sit in the bath.
So it's not super nature-y to go sit in a man-made pool that has the God-made water, but that's what you have to do. And I'm not a big fan of that. I'd prefer to just go find an actual natural hot spring that we can get into.
If I wanted to spend a lot of money, they probably have some really cool spa experiences like facials and massages and stuff, but I think they have tourist prices here. So one of the cool things here at Hot Springs National Park is they have these fountains where you can fill up with like actual spring water as much as you want. You just can't sell it.
So we are having a hard time finding these hot springs here at the Hot Springs National Park.
We got up here and this is all there is. Just a little bit of water. That's it.
According to the map, we are in the right spot, but there still aren't any hot springs here.
We saw some workers kind of working on like the pool at the bottom, so I wonder if they are like doing maintenance or something.
Micah is saying they turned it off. I wasn't aware you could just turn off a hot spring, but apparently maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't realize you had to do maintenance on a hot spring, but it was just closed last week to do maintenance on it, so.
So it looks like the water should be running down here, down this whole path that runs all the way up this mountain.
But as you can see, the water is not there. Where it went, I have no idea. On the upside, it's really nice and pretty up here. On the downside, still haven't found those hot springs. I'm starting to wonder if they named this national park wrong. Worst case scenario, we have the option of going to the display spring, which is just a hot spring that they've routed downtown into the city. But that's last case scenario because who really wants to do that?
When you're out in nature, right? You want to see a nature hot spring.
Yes, right.
And here it goes. This is where I think the water is supposed to be, all the way up there, but it's not.
It's gone. The water is fully gone.
There she is, trying to find the hot springs. Will Google help you?
No.
Dr. Google's supposed to know everything, but he's letting us down. Our plan now is to go back up the hill that we drove up to that tower, because on the way up we did see some steam, and so we're gonna go try and find the steam again, see if we can get out of the car, find some hot springs, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. We win.
I think they turned it off. He's like, I don't think you can turn off hot springs.
If somebody were to poison it, so we have to be able to maintain and control it.
Right, yeah. I was right.
Apparently they do control and turn off the hot springs.
I saw a puff of steam.
That's more like it. Look at that.
All right, hot springs are cool. I think it'll be cooler once it's completely filled with water. However, I am still a little bit bummed that you cannot get in it. Apparently it's too hot.
You would scald yourself if you got in directly into a hot spring. Comes out really hot.
143 degrees apparently, which doesn't sound too hot to me, but I guess it's a big deal.
Ooh, yeah, that is hot. If you just hopped right in there, you would burn your buns off. That's like when you're drawing a bath and you accidentally put on way too much hot.
Something they don't tell you about these hot springs is they stink.
Yeah, to get me to take a bath in here, I'd need some Epsom salts, probably some lavender. It stinks.
Maybe that's the real reason people don't take baths in here anymore. It's not the heat, it's the stink.
Oh yeah.
You want to come here instead of Grand Canyon?
Not sure about that.
Well, that leaves us much more satisfied about actually seeing some hot springs. Funny enough, I just found out this national park actually surrounds this city. So this city sits inside of the national park, which is kind of interesting.
So the Buckstaff Bathhouse is actually the only one on all of Bathhouse Row that has stayed in operation continuously throughout the whole time it's been open. The rest of them closed between like the 60s and 80s or so, but it stayed open and it is still open today.
What are we gonna see?
The Display Spring. It's another one of the open hot springs you can touch.
Yeah, the water's hot.
Ooh. I wouldn't put my mouth down there.
Little bit gross.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Definitely hot, but I would still get in it.
So if you want to come visit the Hot Springs National Park like it was back in its glory days, you'll definitely want to come and do one of the bathhouses where you can actually soak in the thermal water. That'll be really fun for you. Of course, hikes, drives, drinking the water, all really cool. For the full experience, go to the bathhouse.
That's it for Hot Springs National Park, and that's it for this video.